All right, if you're working with clinical data, you absolutely know the headache of trying to keep up with the world of CDISC standards. It's a constant battle, right? Well, today, we're going to look at a pretty smart new tool that's designed to turn that whole complex mess into a simple, reliable conversation. So let's dive in.
So here's what we've got on the agenda. We're going to start with that familiar standards headache. Then we'll talk about a smarter way to check your work. We'll get into exactly how this tool, Shiranui, finds the truth. After that, we'll cover what you can actually do with it, how it keeps your data safe, which is huge, and finally, what all this means for the future of creating specs. First up, let's talk about the pain point we all know and love, the CDISC standards headache, and the good old challenge of manual verification. So let's be real. Does this look familiar? You're in the zone, writing a spec, and suddenly you have to stop everything to verify just one variable or one term. And down the rabbit hole you go, digging through PDFs and websites, just hoping you've landed on the latest version. It's a struggle we've all been through. And you know, this manual grind has real consequences. It's a massive time eater. It's incredibly prone to human error. I mean, we're only human. And to make it worse, the guides are constantly updating on us. All of this just rolls up into the one thing we all want to avoid, the risk of non-compliance. So that brings us to section 2, a smarter way to check. You're probably thinking, okay, can't we just throw AI at this problem? And the answer is, kinda. But using a standard off-the-shelf AI for this job has a pretty major catch. And here's the catch. If you ask a standard large language model, an LLM, a very specific CDISC question, it might give you an answer that sounds incredibly confident, but is just flat out wrong. Maybe its training data is 6 months out of date, or maybe it just makes up a detail that sounds plausible. These are what we call hallucinations, and in a regulated environment like ours, they are a complete deal breaker. No way. And this is precisely where Shiranui comes into play. Now, it's not another AI model. The best way to think of it is as a specialized bridge. It is the one tool that connects the conversational power of your AI directly to the single source of truth, the official CDISC library. So to get just a little technical, Shiranui is a model context protocol server, but really its job is simple. It intercepts a question from your AI, goes and fetches the correct, verified, up-to-the-minute answers straight from the CDISC Library's API, and then hands that perfect information back to the AI to give to you. Okay, section 3. How does this actually stop those dangerous AI hallucinations? Well, the concept is surprisingly simple. We're calling it the expert librarian method. This analogy is just perfect. Picture your LLM as a brilliant, eager intern. It's great at communicating, it's super fast, but its knowledge base might be a little shaky. Shiranui, on the other hand, is the expert librarian, the one who never relies on memory. So when the intern gets a question, it's not allowed to guess. It's forced to go ask the librarian, who pulls the answer directly from the official source books. In our case, the CDISC library. So let's just walk through the process. Step 1, you ask your LLM a question. Step 2, instead of guessing, the LLM immediately passes that query over to Shiranui. Step 3, Shiranui connects to the CDISC Library API and pulls the live correct data. And finally, step 4, your LLM uses that 100% verified data to give you a precise and trustworthy answer. It's a simple, direct, and accurate loop. Okay, so much for the theory, but what does this actually look like when you're using it? What can you ask this supercharged assistant? Let's move on to section 4, your interactive assistant. Here is a perfect real-world example. Instead of you having to manually search through code lists, you can just ask a direct question like this one. And because of Shiranui, you know for a fact the answer you get isn't based on some old cached version of the terminology, but on the absolute latest information available in the CDISC library right now. And the scope here is really impressive. You can see it covers a lot. Shiranui can retrieve variable metadata for SDTM and ADOM. It can pull metadata for send and CDASH. It can grab specific code lists from controlled terminology and even look up biomedical concepts. It basically becomes your comprehensive research assistant. All right, now for what might be the most important question of all. What about security? We're talking about clinical data here, and privacy is completely non-negotiable. So let's get into section 5, keeping your data secure. This right here is the critical difference. With a standard cloud AI, your prompts and any sensitive data that might be in them gets sent off to some external third-party server. But with a local LLM paired with Shiranui, everything stays right inside your own network. Your data and your questions remain totally secure. Nothing ever leaves your system.
And this isn't just some theoretical idea. This works today. You can use it with local AI clients like LM Studio. This means you can have all the power of a cutting-edge AI assistant, but with the lockdown security of a completely offline tool. It's really the best of both worlds. So what does this all mean for the future? Well, it fundamentally shifts the paradigm. We're moving away from being manual, error-prone checkers to having a reliable AI co-pilot right by our side. This is the future of spec creation. If there's one key takeaway, it's this. Shiranui transforms a generalist AI into a true specialist. It gives your LLM a direct, verified line to the source of truth, making it a trustworthy, expert assistant that you can actually rely on for the highly specific and regulated work we do every day. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Forget about all the risks of AI hallucinations and data leaks for a moment. Instead, just imagine a world where you could draft entire specification documents interactively, validate protocol requirements in real time, and ensure end-to-end compliance from the very first keystroke. What could you and your team achieve if your AI assistant was guaranteed to be 100% compliant 100% of the time?